Now, for some reason, I wrongly assumed that Errol Spence was already the mandatory challenger for Kell Brook's IBF welterweight world title. He's actually not. He is the number one ranked contender, but being the number one ranked contender is different than being the mandatory challenger. So he's the number one ranked contender, as far as I know anyway, and he's going to have to fight a final eliminator with a guy called Konstantin Ponomarev. I've never seen Ponomarev fight before, so I'm going to have to go do my research on him. But if any of you guys have got any info on Ponomarev, please drop it in the comment section below. I know he's undefeated. He's Eastern European, judging by the name. I haven't even been to his box rec. I'm just looking at this information right now. So, yeah, he's going to have to fight this eliminator with Ponomarev. Errol Spence, there's been a lot of talk about Spence since the Algieri fight. You know, a lot of people were surprised by how it went down. He's been talking about possibly fighting Kell Brook. He's been talking about, you know, possibly fighting a lot of the guys in the welterweight division currently. I think fighting another undefeated fighter in Ponomarev is going to be the perfect segue into an IBF mandatory title challenge against Kell Brook. Because for Spence, you want to put him in with someone who has ambition. I'm not saying Chris Algieri had no ambition, but he's been beaten before. So putting him in there with an undefeated guy, although Ponomarev apparently is not a big puncher, which is, you know, a little bit of a concern maybe. I'd like to see Spence in there with someone that's actually going to put some hurt on him, you know, so he can't just walk in the way he did against Chris Algieri and start banging away. Someone that's actually going to make him think and say, oh, you know what, I need to think carefully about my approach here, because if I get clipped, I could be in trouble. Ponomarev, from what I understand, is not that guy. So, yeah, again, if you've got any info on him, drop it in the comment section below. But I do think fighting an undefeated fighter in the final eliminator is a good thing, and it should stand him in good stead. So, yeah, Errol Spence, it's funny. Amir Khan came out recently and said that Errol Spence may be the first mandatory that Kell Brook ducks. You know, Khan and Brook are always at each other's throats, always back and forth. And Eddie Hearn has already said that he has no problem with Brook fighting Spence, particularly if it's mandatory. Now, he said particularly if it's mandatory. That makes me believe that he's only going to have Kell Brook fight Errol Spence when it is mandatory. When the IBF, you know, call the mandatory and say, okay, you got 90 days from now to fight Errol Spence. Some people are saying, why don't Brook bring that defense forward and just offer Errol Spence a voluntary? Because he's done this for fighters before. He did it with Frankie Gavin. Frankie Gavin was supposed to fight a final eliminator against Tim Bradley to then face, you know, for the winner to then face Kell Brook. But Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook decided to give Frankie Gavin, Funtime Frankie, a straight shot, so he didn't have to go through the elimination process. They could do the same with Errol Spence if they really wanted to. I doubt they're going to. Certainly judged on what Eddie Hearn's saying, I doubt they're going to. So, yeah, let me know what you think about the situation, people. With Spence fighting his final eliminator against this Konstantin Ponomarev guy. Let me know what you know about him. How do you think that fight will play out? And let me know your thoughts on Kell Brook as well. All right? It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.